Hey friends, you ever sat on a plane ready for takeoff and suddenly that roaring engine noise just hits you like a wall? It's not just annoying, it's relentless. For some it's a mild discomfort, but for others, especially frequent flyers, it might be doing more damage than we think, and that's what we're diving into today. Because airplane noise, especially from jet engines, isn't just about being loud, it's about what it's doing to your brain, your body, your sleep, even your hearing. And the worst part? Most people have no idea how vulnerable they really are while flying. If this kind of deep dive interests you, where we connect everyday experiences to real science and global stories, hit that subscribe button now. It helps the channel and keeps these conversations going. Now, let's board this flight together. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never sit on a plane the same way again. Let's start with a number. 85 decibels. That's roughly the noise level inside a commercial airplane cabin during takeoff. According to the CDC, prolonged exposure to anything above 70 decibels can start to damage your hearing over time. So imagine what frequent flyers, pilots, crew members, business travelers are experiencing. Hours and hours at those levels, sometimes twice a week or more. And here's the wild part. The noise doesn't feel dangerous, because it's steady. There's no explosion, no sirens, just that low, vibrating hum that feels like background ambiance. But inside your ears and your nervous system, it's doing something else entirely. According to a 2023 study by the World Health Organization, consistent exposure to transportation noise, especially aircraft, can raise stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, even during sleep. That means even if you're dozing off mid-flight, your body is in a low-key fight-or-flight mode. And that raises a question I want to ask you. Have you ever landed feeling exhausted even after sleeping through a flight? Drop your experience in the comments, because you're not alone. With all our modern tech, noise-canceling headphones, ultra-quiet electric cars, why are planes still this loud? Well, it's a matter of physics and profit. Jet engines compress air, ignite fuel, and expel exhaust at tremendous speeds. That energy has to go somewhere. Engineers have added sound insulation and quieter engine models, sure, but the core mechanism of thrust is still thunderously loud. Now here's the part most people don't know. The quietest airplane model ever built, the Airbus A350, still averages 78 to 82 decibels during cruising. That's nearly as loud as a busy city street. And takeoff, that can spike to 100 decibels if you're seated near the engine. Add to that the fact that airlines maximize seat layout over sound insulation. Thinner walls, minimal dampening, all to fit more passengers and cut fuel costs. The result? Your body becomes the soundproofing. And if you've made it this far, maybe consider subscribing. Here on Mr. America, we dive deep into stories that mainstream media often glosses over. But they matter to your health, your money, your peace of mind. Let's talk about the science of stress. When your ears constantly pick up that engine drone, your brain interprets it as environmental threat, even if you're not aware of it. That triggers the amygdala, which starts a chain reaction. Your heart rate increases, blood vessels constrict, and stress hormones flood in. Researchers from Harvard Medical School found that chronic noise exposure can increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases by nearly 25%. That's huge, but there's more. Children exposed to regular airplane noise, especially those living near airports, show lower cognitive performance in memory and reading comprehension. Imagine what even occasional exposure does to adults trying to work or read on a flight, and here's the haunting part. This doesn't just go away when the plane lands. Your body remembers. That's why some travelers feel anxious before boarding, even if they're not afraid of flying. The noise, the pressure, the chaos. It's all part of a larger biological imprint. Now here's the good news. You can protect yourself. And it's easier than most think. Here's what works. 1. Noise-canceling headphones. Active ones are best. They reduce 20-30 dB and block the low-frequency engine rumble. 2. Foam earplugs, especially useful during takeoff and landing when noise peaks. 3. White noise apps or calming playlists. These help mask engine sound with more pleasant tones. 4. Hydration and breathing exercises. Staying calm helps keep your nervous system from overreacting to constant noise. 5. Strategic seat selection. Avoid seats near the engines, usually around the wings. Front of plane seats are quieter, and if you're a frequent flyer, consider getting a custom pair of musician-grade earplugs. They reduce sound evenly across frequencies and let you still hear announcements without damaging your ears. Here's what's been bothering me, and maybe you've thought about it too. If this is such a real issue, with real science and real health risks, why don't airlines talk about it? Why isn't there a warning or a tip or even a mention? The truth is uncomfortable. Acknowledging it opens doors to lawsuits, regulation, redesign costs. It's easier and cheaper to let passengers endure it quietly, literally. That's why channels like this exist. To ask questions that don't get asked and to push for awareness that protects real people. And that brings us full circle. Next time you fly, pay attention to how your body reacts to sound. Not just what you hear, but what you feel. And remember, awareness is your first line of defense. Let me ask you, what do you do to cope with airplane noise? Or do you just endure it? Share your story in the comments. Someone else might really benefit from it. If you've learned something new today, if you're walking away with a fresh perspective on something you once ignored, consider hitting that subscribe button. We're not just here to talk facts, we're here to feel through them together. And I'll leave you with this thought. In the sky, we may be surrounded by clouds and noise. But here on the ground, we still have the power to choose what we listen to and what we ignore. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay safe.